Hello, everyone. I can't really hear myself. Yes? No? Yes?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay. Welcome to Arcana Homesteading. We're your hosts, Sherry
and Shauna.
And today we are chatting about edibles that you can plant in the shade.
Yes. This question has come up a few times, and so we thought we'd hit on some things. I feel like it always happens where you either plan out some like boxes or your garden space, and then you realize that it gets more shade than what you had originally planned, or sometimes you even have like things grow in and create that shade. So there are things, or you just have a spot and it is very shaded and you want something there. So we just did edibles. I didn't do, this is just a list of edibles. There's obviously a ton of other plants that you could plant in the shade that are, for one, what is it called? Hydrangeas. Like for a flower, yeah. They love the morning sun, but they want like that shade in the afternoon.
Right.
Otherwise they'll just be all like, goodbye. So there still are lots of other things besides what we're going to talk about, but this is like a list of edibles for you, because yes. I think I like to focus on when I'm buying plants other than like flowers and stuff for the garden. I really like, even when I plant flowers, I like planting edible flowers or medicinal flowers, and medicinal like herbs and stuff like that. So that's what I focus on. I just personally, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think it's always like I want it to be like useful.
Yeah.
Not that flowers aren't useful.
I do appreciate flowers. Obviously, they look gorgeous. But I also focus on like edible stuff. It's just always, I don't know.
I want to be able to use you.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to put effort into you.
Yeah, and water.
Use you. Not just look at you, okay? Yeah. You can't just be pretty.
To pay for you?
That's right.
You have to pay me back. This is your rent.
More than beauty.
Yeah, it's your rent.
We want more.
Yeah. So, the first one on our list is persimmons, and they are really good if you have, especially if you're doing like a food forest. We've talked about that before, but they are good for like an understory plant, because they'll have like, the taller trees over them, and then you can plant them beneath that, and they do quite well. They don't mind the shade at all. Now, a lot of these things that we'll talk about, and I think it goes for pretty much anything, a lot of things will do okay in the shade. They just won't produce as much fruit.
Right. It's not like they're going to perish or die. It's not it at all.
Mm-hmm. So persimmons are pretty good. They would give more fruit with a little bit more sun, but they still, I feel like if you have ever been around a persimmon tree, they're just they're everywhere.
Yeah.
So many, especially like a big mature tree, like you're fine. You have enough.
Yeah.
So, but like tomatoes, there's some varieties do way better in the shade than others, but I feel for the most part, especially during the heat of the summer, and we've talked about this before, if they don't have a little bit of shade, they don't do well at all. But if they're not getting enough sun, you're just not going to get enough fruit. So it's a kind of a precarious.
Yeah, definitely something to, you almost have to like go into your garden and be like, okay, it's shady right now, so this is all shaded by this time of the day. It's your time. Yeah, for sure. So
lots of planning.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
and same thing with shaded plants. Like, okay, this is mostly shaded, so they would do really, really well here. So yay, they can go there.
I don't have like enough shade in my garden. I have like we have our garden fence, which obviously creates shade. Later on in the day. So anything near the fence has to like a little bit of like doesn't need that late afternoon sun or 8 hours of sun. But beyond that, I don't have a lot of shade in my garden, and I was realizing that just yesterday while I was in there because it was fucking hot, and I was like, this isn't gonna work, guys. I was like, this isn't gonna work. This is not the relationship I want. It's like I need to self-access. I need to plant something that grows.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking, I don't know what I could do though, because the sun literally passes right over, You know what I'm saying? It's like on what is that? East facing?
I am awful with directions, as
so
you well know.
Like east, so like the sun east to west,
Yeah.
And so it goes right over the garden. So anything I even plant is not ever going to be like, unless it's completely just right on top of it, where I will do like shade coverings for the tomatoes.
Well, my garden's the same way. And with my garden, it's because the fencing is so tall. Like, so a lot of the beds that are on the right side of the garden, like they're shaded by the time.
But you have a shit ton of trees around it.
I do have a lot of trees.
A lot.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's true. I suppose that's true.
Yeah. I don't have any, really.
I don't have any trees over here, though. Like, there's just trees
so, but that's
over
like
on
the
that
late
side.
afternoon sun where it's not as like scorching as like the afternoon sun when it's like right above, like it hits those sides. I can like literally see Sherry's garden out this window I'm looking at. You can't, I can, huh? But it hits those trees and casts that shadow down. So it gives it a little bit, it's a little bit cooler. I end up having to put shade cloth. I always try to be like, because I have like a trellis like tunnel thing, and I always try to plant things to cast shade on the tomatoes, but it's almost like they don't get that high and cast the shade in enough
you
time.
need to plant something like a grapevine or something
that's like
just going to be continuous and it's not ever going to die back. Does that make sense?
Well, grapes die back.
No, but they
grow very rapidly.
They grow rapidly. I mean, you can see mine that you got me. They're so big. They're so big.
You're actually supposed to cut those back in the fall. Did you know? You know how if you go by like vineyards and all the grapevines are cut back?
Yeah.
But I always feel very bad to cut mine back.
We've talked about pruning before and how we don't.
And I'd get more fruit, but I feel like I get plenty of grapes and I'm fine. And I feel like it's just being greedy.
I have plenty of grapes.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't have them just for grapes. Like I like the vining, you know.
That's what I like. I don't
want to
like
cut it
my
back.
father-in-law always gets mad at me, you know, because he's like, you need to cut these in the fall, and I'm like, I don't want to though.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Because they'll sprout like little leaves, all their grape leaves and stuff a lot sooner, and they don't have to grow and then sprout. They're all like, hello, I'm here, like right away, like it's already covered my whole thing, you know. With the it's like covered and shaded in that little area from my grape because I don't cut them back, and that's what I like the shade over the grapes.
That's what I'm saying.
Like we use a little bit of the grapes, but
see,
we're
it's
not
all
like
about
crazy.
what you want from it. Do you want the fruit? Okay, we'll fucking cut it back. Do you want the shade? Well, leave them be. You know, like I like the reason I planted those there is because
for the shade. I should do grapes in there. That would look nice.
It would look so nice. That's where my grapes are, where my trellis.
I know. I was just realizing
beautiful.
that. Or any really perennial vine.
Anything.
That would not take up too much of the because I use that trellis for like the cucumbers and shit, you know.
Yeah.
So it kind of be tricky.
No, they'd be fine. I think like my grapevines, like there's like a good gap at the bottom, and then they're like started to grow like here. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah,
especially mature grapes. Like
that's what I'm saying. They're
not like
at super leafy at the bottom.
Okay, Sherry, thanks for solving all my problems. Gosh,
you're welcome. Without even knowing
this
it.
This is why we powwow a lot. We call it powwows.
Yeah, this is why though.
This is why. But like, which just means like we talk to each other, but we don't even know we're trying to solve each other's problems, and then we just
until like your problem is solved, and you're like,
thanks for the powwow.
Thank you. That's awesome. But it always happens.
Always,
and not just like garden stuff, like kids
obviously,
stuff and just everything,
and life
stuff,
in general.
Life,
but like because you're almost like too close to any problem where you can't see even an easy fix for it until you talk to somebody and you're like, well, that seems obvious and I feel dumb, but thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, okay, that's super obvious, but whatever. Here I am.
Gonna do it.
I know it now.
Good. Yeah. Moving on.
That's right.
Anyways, another shade loving, and this can grow quite large, are elderberries. Like it's a bush. They grow pretty big. They reseed themselves pretty easily. Like they'll just have like little elderberry plants everywhere. They don't mind the shade at all. Again, they'll have more fruit with more sun, but I also feel like
they probably need a certain amount of shade though. Berries in general,
they do
aren't like huge fans of like hot
direct
sun
heat
all the time.
And if you think about, I always try to think about like where they would grow, like indigenous or wild.
Yeah,
and what environment. Exactly. And the elderberries, at least for here, are further up into the mountains is where you find them, where it's cooler.
Exactly.
And so mine are planted in the shade and are doing quite well. So they...
Yeah.
But like they will produce more fruit in the sun, but I don't even know about that. And they are perennial. Perennial. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
My brain kind of shorted out for a second. So that's another, and that is something that will just keep on, like I said, it'll just get more and more and more, and then you have to like dig out little plants, and you can like sell them to people or gift them to people. Mine
cool.
already like has given me little small children, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. I was like, I didn't know you could have babies yet. I didn't know you were old enough for babies, but apparently you're quite mature.
She's like, fuck you, I'm old enough. I want a baby elderberry plant.
Okay,
Yeah, dig one up. Boop.
dig one up. Boop. They're crazy. They're very prolific apparently. At least where we're at. So, do you want to do the next one?
Oh, okay.
We have a list, but we have a lot of things that aren't on the list.
Okay, so
I thought I could remember 'em.
wild strawberries, and
Which is also a perennial.
yes, and wild because your strawberries that you would buy like in the store, I think that they would need a bit more sun than like your wild varieties. Again, your wild varieties indigenously are going to grow, where it's just a tad more.
And they create a really
Cooler.
nice ground cover.
Yes.
And you'll see them like, wild straw, and they're a lot smaller. They're not going to be
yeah. I mean, a wild strawberry is like a very tiny
Very
berry.
tiny.
They're so tiny. They're
Delicious.
really, really delicious, but very, very tiny. Nothing like you buy at the store. They're like these gigantic, like behemoth things on like fucking crack. Like there's not like that. It's like a Hulk strawberry. It's like no, it's like a tiny, normal little strawberry. But
I always wonder, the people that sell like the strawberries and the
Yeah.
mangoes on the side of the road,
Yeah.
where are they getting their strawberries? Because I know they're not from like strawberry fields like that are local. Like those strawberries are huge. Those were like grown in like a hothouse or something. Or maybe it is local, but like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Those looks like some GMO strawberries to me.
I mean, they probably are. There's no sign saying they're not, so they most likely are.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way that like, but so many people stop and get them.
Yeah.
Just assuming that they're like organic and
No, just because they're on the side of the
Local.
road.
Yeah,
not in a
exactly.
brick and mortar store.
Exactly.
They're like, they're healthier. And you're like, no, he's fooling you.
yeah.
Like the strawberry, like I like to like pick your own,
Mm-hmm.
That's super fun. And I want to do it more, but like I don't even know if there's a farm around us.
We have that one, over closer to where I'm at.
Yeah, but they're not even open though.
Oh no.
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 I don't know what's going on this year.
I don't know. Well, it was very cold for a very long time.
It was, and maybe they just couldn't, I don't know, get them started in time or something.
Like even I have snapdragons that are usually all bloomed by now.
Yeah.
In the corner of the garden, and there's just like a few just starting to. But I'm like, that's so weird that they haven't bloomed yet. 'Cause
Yeah.
They usually bloom like early May
Yeah.
for and then so I was noticing that it's because it was cold for
Because
so
we
long,
have such
everything's
weird
taking
weather.
even like the
Yeah.
irises.
Yeah. My irises have usually in full bloom right now and all beautiful and purple.
Yeah.
No, they've been
And almost like at the end of their
did
life cycle.
bloom. They did bloom though, but they have since like they're not blooming anymore. So I don't know if they're gonna have like another bloom. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's strange. Just take her outside,
She's
babe.
bad. Take her out.
Take her to the pool.
Yeah, let her
Pool.
splash around.
Yeah, exactly. Spencer's out there.
So an annual that you can grow that I don't think people realize, dill really does prefer the shade over the sun.
Yeah, I put dill. I think that's exactly what happened. It wasn't shaded enough. It was the mammoth dill, and it just did not like it.
Okay, I struggle with dill.
Yeah, I do too.
I
And
feel
I'm
like
I don't know if like
I don't know if it's like a me thing. I don't know enough.
I think it's a me thing too for me though, not you. A me.
No, I don't know. It's obviously for both of us. But like
I
I
don't
will
know.
either like be like my dill is doing great, and then like I'll come out and there'll be just caterpillars all over it
Yeah.
and eating them, and then they'll be dead. Or it will be like there and then it's dead the next day, and I'm like
I think
I don't
that
know.
dill does attract more than average bugs because of the smell, I think.
Which is weird because you think it's like a stronger smell and it would keep them
Away
like
but it
basil.
doesn't. Yeah. But it doesn't.
It doesn't.
I don't know. I gave up on dill.
Did you?
Yeah, a few years ago.
Because like dill is so helpful in like when you're canning, especially like pickled anything. You want
Yeah.
dill,
Yeah.
and I want like fresh dill,
Yeah.
and I love dill. Anything, right?
What about just keeping it in your house? I
Yeah,
thought about that.
there's a lot of things I should probably just keep in my house, and I
Yeah.
don't. I have okay, like fucking my husband's just finishing like the duck pen outside for
Okay,
our
nice.
ducks that, because the big ducks are too big for the brooder, but I can't keep the little ducks with the big ducks yet
Yeah,
because
they
they
hate
just
each
like
other.
to bite their heads. And so, but like so the little ducks still live in the house for part of the day or for the nighttime. And then,
Oh, nice.
you look beautiful. Our mother just got her hair done. She's showing it
Nice.
off right now. I love the curl. Do you have a curling iron?
No.
Well, you should probably purchase one. Looks nice.
And learn how to use it.
That's gonna be a struggle.
I
looks
send
very
that
nice.
product and cringe my hair because my hair's wavy curly anyways.
Well, you need more than product. I'm gonna talk to you about your hair after this.
Bye, guys.
Because it's like you can't just cringe it, like your hair. You have to, like, when it's wet, like you take the comb and you brush through it when it's wet, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
She could crunch it. If she diffused it, she would look really cute.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like,
But it's
how
that's
you do it.
time.
It's a lot of time.
It's time.
curly-
Yeah,
curly hair.
exactly.
And which mom never has.
Yeah. Well, no, she does, or she does. Mom's never been one to really like take time for her hair, though. You know what I mean? Which
She
I don't.
also struggles with time management, which is why we
True.
struggle with time management.
Yes, true. It's hereditary, I think.
Hereditary.
She gifted it to us.
Thank you.
So sweet.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I don't mind not having, like, somebody the other day when I was talking to them, they were like, if you're not 30 minutes early, you're late. And I was like, well, then I'm always late because I'm usually 30 minutes late.
Don't give a fuck. But see,
I was
I
like,
think,
I'm not punctual.
We're one step though ahead because like mom, she's better, but she used to get super flustered when she was late. Like I will start to do that because that's like from mom. But then I'm like, it's fine.
It
We're
is
late.
what it is.
It is what
Like,
it
you can't
is.
change it now.
Can't. No.
Like, you might as well not speed down the road and kill yourself.
We're good.
Really won't
No,
make it
I
then.
do. I never speed. That's ridiculous. And
You don't. You're like driving Miss Daisy, though.
I drive the speed limit, Shauna.
No.
It's just the speed limit. The speed limit. Do you know my son was driving the other day? We're following you somewhere, Lorenzo. He was driving, and you were in front of us. And he's like, "Damn, look at Shauna!" Like, I don't know what he called you.
I am not speeding, though. I go 5.
Speeder.
I don't. I'm like 5 miles over the speed limit. That's it.
Okay, so I'm the speed limit though, and you're supposedly only 5 miles over the speed limit.
Yeah.
You're always ahead of me, way ahead.
My car
I don't go
also
below
like
the speed
like
limit.
also my car, because like I have, like, I don't know, my husband told me what I don't know cars. I don't really care. I have a truck, but it has like, it's like a turbo whatever blah, something sport something, and so like when you want it to, like, you ask it to go like out of a turn and stuff, it's not like it takes a while to get up to whatever, just all here. I'm right there at whatever speed I need to be. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
it's like I come out of a turn and I'm like already at like 55 miles per hour if I want to be there.
Yeah,
It doesn't take a lot for my car to
because
go.
it's light. It's a lighter. It's
My car just goes, though.
Yeah, exactly.
My old truck didn't do that. This car like does
Well,
that.
your old
'cause-
truck had a V8. This one has a V6. Again, just a lighter truck.
but like it just wants to be at a higher speed. It wants to.
You cannot blame your speeding on your truck.
Yes, I can.
You can't.
I can. I
You
did.
can't do
I
it.
just did it.
You can't. I'm telling you, you can't.
And I don't speed. I'm 5 miles over the speed limit. It's not speeding. That's like
That's debatable.
no. If somebody was going the speed limit in front of me, I'd be like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you going the speed limit? Like 5 miles over. That's it. Like if I go past highway patrol and everything else, no one's stopping me. 5 miles over. I'm like, hi, how are you? It's a great day. You know.
I will sometimes go 5 miles over when I'm on the freeway, but
Yeah.
when I'm on normal roads, no. I'm just like speed limit. It's posted for a reason. Just like boop boop right there.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
It's
I
not
go
really-
slow. I do go really slow at night. I go actually under the speed limit because I'm always worried about hitting something.
Me too. No. Especially on like Latrobe or your
Yeah.
road. No. I am driving like I'm not hitting a deer.
Yeah.
I'm driving slow enough to where I'm most likely will be able to stop.
Yeah.
Like fuck that.
I drive really
I don't
slow.
care. You want to go? You
Yeah.
wanna go around
People
me and hit the
always like
deer,
go around
for
me
it.
and be all crazy, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But like at night, I do not
Have
drive
fun
fast.
hitting a
Yeah.
deer.
But during the
asshole.
day, I do. I'm not fast. I don't go fast.
See, you almost said it.
I did.
Yep.
So a couple other things that, like the shade, parsley is another herb. Another one I coincidentally struggle with. Not sure why, because parsley is supposed to be really easy to grow.
It is. Parsley is. It is easy.
I can grow
It does like the shade though. 100%.
like oregano. I have so much oregano all the time.
I had it in a big bucket, big huge
What, parsley?
thingy. Yep, in the shade, like right in like
I loves
at the
it.
base of a fucking tree. Just loved it. It was just there forever.
What happened to it? Chickens?
No. Then it eventually dies back, and then like I think the chickens probably did.
You just replant it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I gave up on parsley. Maybe I wasn't keeping it in the shade enough, but anywho. And I don't use parsley in a lot of things either.
See, the reason, so Dea uses a fuck ton of parsley for her bunnies. Right now she's using the wild parsley, which is fantastic, but we just have coincidentally let the goats out so that I don't have to give them as much alfalfa.
And they're eating it.
They ate all the wild parsley. It's like gone. Like they're like, that's all ours. And they ate it all.
Delicious.
It's gone. So she uses a ton for her bunny. Like I'm probably going to plant like 3 big, huge things of parsley this year.
You should probably have already planted them. You should probably just get starters at this point.
That's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, it's over.
No. Yeah. I think I'm going to have everything on my back deck. Did I tell you?
Yeah, you did tell me.
Well, not the parsley, but it's not shady enough back there. But
And why?
I just feel like it'll be so much easier for me to maintain versus coming up to the garden. If that makes sense.
Well, originally you weren't going to do a garden, so it's a step up from that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because I really hate not doing a garden. At least the herbs, you know? Like I hate it. I can't not just have
Well, the herbs are easy.
No, they're so easy. That's what I'm saying. And then I don't know. I'll probably end up putting it in the fucking garden. Because I do want tomatoes.
Oh, you're getting late.
I am so worried about that daughter flower, though.
You're late to the game.
It's fine. Starters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I finished most of my garden planting. But I planted most of my things from seed. I only got like a couple. I forgot. Okay. I don't know what is wrong with me. So I had thought this year I drew a diagram of my garden, like my
look at
beds,
you.
and I put
It's
in
weird.
like, right?
It's strange. Yeah.
I know. And
Proud of you. It's awesome.
I know. And I put in, okay, like where I'm going to plant everything, right? Like this is going here, blah, blah, blah. And I was all like proud of myself. Well, I lost that sheet almost immediately. I don't know why I thought I could keep it somewhere. And then when I was planting all my seeds, I completely forgot to plant any squash. Because I don't plant the squash at the same time as tomatoes, obviously, because it grows faster.
Right.
But then I completely just forgot to get back to planting seeds. And so I'm like, and I don't even know how I didn't even realize it. Because I go in and I water every day at the fucking greenhouse. Like you think I would have like been like, look, it's just tomatoes and okra and things that like cucumbers. Like, okay. So I'm like planting everything and I'm like, where's the squash at? Hello, where are you?
Squashy, squash.
And I
Just get some
realized at that
starters.
point, I was like, well, I did get some starters.
Okay, good.
And you don't need, like, especially zucchini.
I was going to say, you don't need a
need
lot.
like 3 plants,
Exactly.
you know?
You're
like,
good.
I'm good. Like even 3. I was like, I probably should only get 2. And it came in a 6-pack, so I had 3 more that I'm probably just going to, I was like, they're still in my greenhouse. I'm like, I should just plant you in the ground and gophers can do with what they will, you know?
Yeah, seriously.
But, yeah, I was just like, how do you forget to like a whole like vegetable, like a whole one that we use quite often, you know?
It's so fucking funny.
So yeah, so I don't know where my brain is, but anyways. So beyond the things that we've talked about that are, we forgot artichokes. Artichokes, they get rather large though. You need a bigger shaded
just so
spot.
big, very, very wide
Tall.
and tall. So think about that when you're planting. They can't be close to things. Like they need a ton of space.
A lot of space. But if you do have a big shaded area, you want, again, they like the part shade, right? So they do want some sun. They probably need I would say 6 hours of sun, like 4 to 6 hours of sun. But other than that, they should be good. But if you do have a spot that gets, the morning sun and then it kind of dwindles from there, it'd probably be perfect for them. Other than that, so a lot of the things that you don't realize that will like the shade, anything that you're going to plant in the fall, like your carrots, your radishes, your turnips, anything that obviously likes the cool weather will do better in the shade.
Yeah, that seems pretty obvious.
I don't know. Right? Yeah. So you can still plant those things now in a shadier location and they'll still do okay. Carrots, I feel are so fucking easy. They're so easy. I don't know why. And lettuces, those
lettuces are super easy.
In the shade? Yes. Yeah. Plant them in the shade. I said radishes, lettuces, any kind of the bok choy, any leafy green veggies, they will not mind the shade one bit. Even a lot of shade. Even mostly shade.
Yeah, my lettuces and bok choy, all that leafy greens, those are in shade. It's almost complete shade. And they do very, very well.
They do very well because they like the cooler climates.
Exactly. Well, and they almost need it. Like, I did have that box that the lettuces were in, and like some sun for some of the day. It was like kind of sunny, and they were not doing well. And then I moved the box to complete shade, and they did like phenomenally better.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, it's not crazy. It seems obvious, but does it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
I mean, it does, yes. But
yeah.
But even, I mean, I had to go through it to figure it out.
So with my carrots, I'll like plant them in between plants that don't mind like companions and like root veggies, like peppers and stuff like that. They don't have like a huge long root system, you know? And so you can plant carrots in between them, and then the plants shade them, and they do really well. And then you kind of like are saving space that way. Some people say it's too overcrowded, but it's always works for me. I've never had a problem. I get carrots, I get peppers, everything's fine.
Yeah.
But this year I'm trying to do like a mound gardening thing. I can't say the word. It's like the Swedish word for it. Anyways, I'm doing that, but like, and I want to do all my carrots there. And I'm behind the game on that because I haven't started it yet. Because I'm a slacker, but it doesn't get enough shade. It just doesn't. So I was like, I'll just wait for the fall.
I mean, you could just use a shade sail too, if you could put it up.
When we have a lot of shade cloth, actually.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be terribly. But I just like, I want to grow something over that area. If you go to like, what's it called when people like are expert gardeners?
Master gardener?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to like their gardens there's a lot of shade going on. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You know, because there is a lot that, especially depending on your climate, right? So where we're at, when it gets hot, it's fucking hot.
Well, and most vegetables, they're just not going to do well in
Extreme
intense heat for a very prolonged period of time. Like, they're just not going to do well. Like, tomatoes will need a certain amount of shade. Yes, they need a certain amount of sun to produce, but they also should be shaded at some point in the day before the fucking sun goes down, is my point.
Usually by July, like mid-July, we have to put up shade for our tomato plants.
Yeah.
Like every year, we have to put up the shade cloth.
See, so my shade, and it's a perfect amount apparently, because my tomatoes always do really well in this bed that's to the right here, because of that 6-foot fence and that all the fucking shit that's, I always forget what's on the fence. Tell me.
Honeysuckle.
There you go. It's the honeysuckle, and it's just massive. Like, it's a massive amount of honeysuckle just all over this fence, and so it gives a quite a bit of shade once the sun is to a certain point, and then it's all basically shaded. And I've tried to do tomatoes on the other bed, just completely adjacent to that, and they just don't do as well in that bed, and it's because of the amount of sun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think when it does get hot where we're at, it does, like, we'll have triple digit days, you know, and when it is hot, like in July, mid-July and August, like, it's just like, it's either upper 90s or triple digits. It's like, it's really nothing else. Like, that's all we get, right? Like, if it goes into the 80s, we're like, oh my God, this is so nice. Like, right now it's in the 80s. We're like, it's so fucking hot. Like, why is it so hot?
Yeah, well, we were used to pretty cold weather.
I know.
And then all of a sudden it was like, it's 85 degrees. You're like, wait, what?
I despise the summer. Despise. And I know that's like harsh, but like I just do. And I know the kids love swimming and it's great for whatever. But
I'm not a fan of like triple degree days, but I do like what summer brings, right? Because it brings the gardens and it brings swimming and late nights out by the pool. Like,
why can't we have that with 80 degrees though? We can have that same thing.
Well, when it's 80 degrees, it's not as it's at nighttime it'll get pretty.
Yeah, I like that.
Whatever. She's like, yes.
I like the nighttime. Like when you still can leave your windows open and the breeze comes in. Yeah. It's so nice. And then the summer, like you open your windows, you're like, I can't breathe. Somebody help me. I feel bad for our bunny already. Like, it's fucking hot. Like, it's already that time where we have to like put our ACs back in the window. We don't have like central AC.
Yeah, I turned our ACs on yesterday.
Did you?
It was so hot in the house. It was so hot. We turned it on.
Yeah, I almost did, and I didn't because like I always have my husband in the back of my head being all like, we don't have any money. So I didn't end up, and I was like cleaning all day, so I was like hot.
Yep. Boop. Don't even care.
I was so hot.
The money will
yesterday.
come from someplace.
I was so
less beer
hot.
for you. That's what I always tell mine.
Right? Well, mine doesn't drink beer, so I'll be like, less something for you, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was, I get very irritated on cleaning days, but it was like,
Especially when you're hot. Jesus Christ.
well, yeah,
Ew,
it's
no,
the worst.
no.
And it was one of those days where like, I haven't had like a day at home to like clean the house and do all the stupid shit that needs to get done for the stupid house. And I needed to get to a certain point so it would be manageable.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was like really trying just to get to that point to where my house would be manageable, to where I could get up this morning and not have like a load of dishes in the sink and stuff.
Yeah.
Because like it's already hot, so we already have flies in the house. Flies mean maggots.
Yeah, I was going to say baby flies.
So like
Disgusting.
the kids,
Yeah.
I'm like, do not leave your cereal bowl, because like flies lay eggs and have babies like that.
Oh, yeah, it's disgusting.
And I was like,
It's
I
so
don't want to
annoying.
pick up a cereal bowl that is hidden behind like fucking, on the windowsill behind the curtains and it have like maggots in it. Like,
See, I am not as nice as you. If I find a cereal bowl filled with milk anywhere, I'm just like, whose is this? And they're like, it was hers. I'm like,
pointing fingers.
you
Definitely
need
wasn't
to
me.
take your shit to the, like, what the fuck do I look like? Do I look like your fucking maid?
Yeah.
What is this?
I think honestly the worst culprit is my husband. My kids are way better at taking their plates to the sink and rinsing them off. My husband, like, he'll get done and he just like pushes his plate like to the side or
No,
whatever.
No.
You know? And I'm always like,
Absolutely not.
and like most of the time, like I'll, because like you almost get in like a routine where, you're like, oh, I can clean up the table, But like there's times where I snap and I become like a completely different person and I like bite his head off. I'm like,
I
why is your
guess-
plate still fucking sitting there?
Like, okay, so when I eat food or drink something, that then goes into the sink like a normal person. And I expect everyone else to act like that. My kids and my husband. Like, you will be polite. Like, no one is picking up after you. Like, this isn't, what is this? What is this? The world revolves around you? It doesn't. The world revolves around no one. I love all of you to pieces, but the world does not revolve around you. And you will help. Like,
Yeah.
100% you will help.
Yeah.
And my husband, no, he does not. Like, I will scream at him over, like, leaving his fucking coffee cup on the table. I'm just like, what the
Wow.
fuck does that look like?
You're harsh.
What is that?
Which
Why
is
am I
weird
picking up
because
your dish?
you don't really like care, but like I get it.
I don't care. Like, I do and I don't. Like, our house is small, and when you have
It can be
the smaller
cluttered, but when
space-
it's like actual like
thank you,
food
disgusting food
or like
no
some kind of drink
No.
sitting there and
No.
getting
And
like moldy, gross. And the
can't.
other thing
I
too
cannot
is
do
what
it.
I told the kids. I was like, it's beginning of summer. I was like, that means your animal cages literally need to be changed out on a daily
like
basis.
daily.
I'm like, sorry,
fucking
like you
daily.
want the
This is
animals.
this is how it is.
I was like, you can't. I was like, so they were up today, and I was like, go do them. I was
Yeah.
like, you got to get those done. I was
because
like,
those
that's like
flies again. My
flies.
God.
They literally like can
Ugh.
land on something and lay eggs, and then the next day they're hatching.
maggots. It's
So
disgusting weird.
I do not want. I don't mind bugs, but I think we're all a little bit turned off by maggots.
I think the reason you and I are turned off by maggots was
I think everybody is. I don't think anybody would be all like, oh yay, maggots.
one of our neighbors had a rabbit, and there was maggots in the cage, and the maggots had actually like crawled into it.
What?
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
it was just a neighbor.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you would. Anyways, disgusting. I think that we have like
PTSD.
a little bit of PTSD from it because it was like horrific.
Well, it happens very quickly, and people, especially with little animals that are
Yeah.
in cages,
Yes.
and if they're, obviously they're peeing and pooping, and the flies are attracted
Yeah,
to that.
so
and
gross.
flies aren't. I'm not trying to hate on flies.
I hate flies.
I'm not. They
I'm trying
have
to hate
they
on
have a purpose.
I don't know.
They
I'm not
clean
really
up.
sure.
They clean up.
I think it
things.
just because I think so. Like, I think honestly, like they're just very good at being like, I literally eat shit.
Yeah.
So I have been around since before the dinosaurs, baby. You know what I mean? Like they're quite amazing creatures, but I hate them.
Yeah, but they do serve a purpose. They are a good cleanup crew. For things that nobody
Yeah.
else wants to clean
I'm
up.
gonna clean my house. I'm good. I don't need your help or assistance in that.
Like we're
You're
gonna help
disgusting.
you. We're gonna hatch all of our little babies, and then they're gonna help.
Like, ew. So
Yeah. So yeah, I was all about that yesterday, about like cleaning up the house and like getting it to a point where I'm like, didn't feel like weighted down by its grossness.
Well, it gets to a certain point. Abby came down and had some iced coffee yesterday morning, and Lorenzo was there and stuff, and she was like, I'll do your dishes.
Aw.
And I was like, oh, no, don't, no, it's fine. And she's like, no, I want to do your dishes. And so like, she did the dishes. It was like,
You're like,
super,
okay.
super sweet of her. I was like, that's all you. It was very, very sweet. Abby's my oldest girlfriend, soon to be fiance.
Yeah, shh, don't tell anybody.
Yeah. I don't think she listens.
Hopefully.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
This week, she's like, oh my God, what?
Right.
Might be bad.
Anyways, I thought we did an episode, like it was a long time ago. We did like a Q&A where people basically wrote in like questions they had.
Oh, yeah, we should do another one.
And
That's
so
super fun.
I want to do another one,
Yeah.
but I want to give you guys a little bit of time because obviously not everybody listens to it like right when it comes out. You guys should. So like, what are you doing? But if you don't, it's fine. So if you write, it's going to be in about like a month from now. So if you have any questions, it can be about anything. It can even be like a one-worded answer. Like, we don't care. It can be about whatever you want. But just go ahead and email us at ourkindofhomesteading@gmail.com. Any question about homesteading, kids, homeschooling, whatever. And we'll answer it in a month from now in that episode. And we'll give you a shout out during it too. So go ahead and write those in. You can also get a hold of us on Instagram, Our Kind of Homesteading, again, through Instagram, and just message us there. So either one of those will work, or Facebook. Facebook is weird. We have
Facebook is weird. It doesn't allow us to like always view messages for some reason, and so
we get them really late. So
really late. So
I would stick with Instagram, or if you don't want, or if you don't have
emailing
Instagram,
is
email.
honestly like the quickest route. Like,
yeah,
to
but
us.
So if you email us though, we're not going to answer you through the email. We'll be like, thanks for the question. This is when it will be airing. So don't expect like an answer right then, because we want to give it to you during the episode.
Right.
So anyway, so I thought that would be fun. So write in your questions, please. Let us know. And other than that, our shout outs to our top patrons over on Patreon, Lexi and Tegan. Mm-hmm. Is that all? No, we shout out all the top patrons, right?
Lexi, Tegan, Megan.
Megan, and our mom, Tammy.
Yes.
I always get confused on which one we do.
Yeah.
And if you haven't checked out Patreon, please do so. We're doing a fun episode today about the frogman of Loveland, Ohio. So if you live in Ohio, shout out to you. Other than that, yeah, we'll talk to you next time.
Yes, sounds good. Bye, guys.
Goodbye.